You know what's mind-blowing? There's apparently a $50 trillion tax loophole in our system. That's more than twice the size of the entire US economy.
That's an astronomical number. How did something that massive develop without more public awareness?
Well, I came across this fascinating video that breaks it down perfectly. It starts with this French Revolution imagery, but then cleverly pivots to show how modern billionaires are using something called the buy, borrow, die strategy to avoid taxes.
Hmm. Tell me more about how this strategy actually works.
So here's the thing. Instead of selling their stocks and paying taxes, billionaires just borrow against their assets at super low interest rates. The video shows this perfect example of a billionaire on a golden yacht, smugly bragging about borrowing against his Tesla shares.
You know what's wild about that? The average person can't even dream of accessing those kinds of financial strategies.
Exactly right. And the video illustrates this brilliantly by showing a regular investor crying about getting taxed 37% just for selling one share to pay rent. Meanwhile, this billionaire character just floats by on a rubber duck floaty, completely dismissing it.
So what's the solution the video proposes? Surely there must be a way to address this inequality.
Well, that's where it gets really interesting. Instead of calling for pitchforks and revolution, it suggests implementing something called realization rules, basically treating these massive loans against assets as taxable events. The potential impact? About $500 billion in annual revenue.
That's enough to eliminate the deficit, isn't it?
Precisely. And here's what makes this approach so brilliant. It's not about creating new taxes, it's about closing existing loopholes. The video shows this transformation where an angry mob literally puts down their pitchforks and picks up IRS envelopes instead.
But wouldn't forcing billionaires to sell their stocks destabilize the market?
That's the fascinating part. The video points out that companies are already doing $1 trillion in stock buybacks, which is arguably creating a bubble in our 401ks anyway. So the market stability argument doesn't really hold water.
You know, this reminds me of how other countries handle wealth taxation. Have you looked into international approaches?
Oh yeah, several countries have implemented similar reforms successfully. But the US situation is unique because of both the scale of wealth concentration here and the complexity of our tax code. It's like playing Monopoly, where some players get to make up their own rules.
That's quite a fitting analogy, and I imagine it has ripple effects throughout the entire economy.
Absolutely right. When billionaires can indefinitely defer taxes through these loopholes, it creates artificial market advantages and shifts the tax burden to everyone else. The video shows this perfectly with a scene where a tax bill drops from the sky like a meteor, causing the billionaire's powdered wig to fly off.
Well, that's certainly a vivid way to illustrate tax policy reform.
And that's what makes this message so effective. It transforms righteous anger about inequality into practical solutions. Instead of calling for heads to roll, it's calling for systematic change through existing legal frameworks.
So it's really about fixing the system rather than punishing success?
Exactly. And here's the kicker. By focusing on enforcement of existing tax laws rather than creating new ones, it might actually be more politically viable. The video ends with this powerful image of people cheerfully mailing tax forms instead of storming the Bastille.
That's quite a journey from French Revolution imagery to practical tax policy reform.
You know what's really powerful about this approach? It shows that sometimes the most effective revolution isn't the one with dramatic upheaval. It's the one that systematically fixes what's broken in our existing systems. When you look at the potential impact, $500 billion annually, it's clear that proper tax enforcement could be more revolutionary than any guillotine.